and patent ideas. They make playgrounds, hospitals, and prisons safer. They defend our constitutional rights. They put dangerous people in jail. The law is society's skeletal structure, the bare bones of how we create rules and procedures for behaving toward one another. Lawyers keep these bones in working order. Ideally, problems and conflicts are solved at the flesh and blood level. But this is not always possible, and lawyers make sure the basic skeletal framework stays intact during times of crisis. Sure, this is an idealistic view of lawyers, but I am an idealist. I believe law and lawyers can do great things. However, a lot of people go to law school with an inaccurate sense of what those 3 years will be like. All kinds of forces shape them in ways they did not expect, and not always in ways of which they are proud. Many lawyers in training lose something of themselves along the way. But I do not think this loss is inevitable. Some of law school's problems are systemic and need to be addressed by law schools themselves, by law professors, curriculum committees, bar associations, and the like. Those problems are not the focus of this book. Instead, I am interested in what law students can do at this moment to make their experiences better. I became a sociologist during law school, at least formally. In some sense, we are all born sociologists. Halfway through my 1L year, after hearing me ask questions like, "Don't financial incentives in the indigent defender system systematically disadvantage poor people?" one of my professors gently suggested that my areas of interest were fundamentally sociological and proposed that I apply to Stanford's JD PhD program in sociology and law. So I did. I had never taken a sociology class, nor was I entirely sure what sociology was. I just knew that law school was not working for me, so I figured I had little to lose. Sociology proved a good fit, and once sociology was in the mix, law proved a better fit too. Working toward my JD and PhD concurrently after my 1L year gave me a new perspective on law school. I stuck around Stanford Law School for 6 years after my law school class graduated, finishing my PhD, then doing a postdoc. During that time, I became fascinated with the institution of law school and the social systems within it. I watched the law school transition from semesters to quarters, and from a system with letter grades to a system without them. I watched a massive student housing complex go up, as well as a new law school building. Clinics were founded, courses created, people were hired, people retired. I got to know staff members, librarians, and custodians. I talked to professors about their classes and their students. TAing constitutional law and evidence, as well as co-teaching a law school course, gave me a chance to see my former peers through teachers' eyes. I watched annual waves of 1Ls come into law school, struggle, succeed, do OCI or not, try to get on law review or not, fall in, and sometimes out of, love with each other, and begin their first jobs. I kept in touch with alumni and often asked them to reflect on law school. I did all of this because I found law school fascinating, and as an ethnographer, I was interested in the social mechanisms that underpinned it. Stanford Law School offered a starting point for my questions and observations, but it was not a main source of data for this book. I share many of my experiences as a law student, but I try to do so only when these anecdotes are illustrative rather than idiosyncratic. It would not make sense to center a book about law students in general about one law school, after all. Most of the data for this book come from a mixed method study I conducted with the support of Stanford University Press and Stanford's Bill Lane Center for the American West. 1. A survey of over 1,100 students from more than 100 law schools all over the United States. They hailed from law schools ranked by US NWR, U.S. News and World Report, from number 1, currently Yale, to RNP, rank not published, or unranked, meaning they do not fall into the top 150. 2. In-depth interviews with 20 law students from 20 different law schools, ranging in length from 30 minutes to 3 hours.